Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast, Dragon Ball edition. Today, we are going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super chapter number 80, Gas vs. Granolah part 2. And with that, we have the Dragon Ball expert with us, Mitchell Oso. How are you doing today, sir?
As always, doing fantastic. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing well, and first Dragon Ball pod of 2022. So Happy New Year to you, man! And it's your first pod of the year.
Yep, first podcast of the year. I haven't spoken up since the end of year podcast with everyone. That was very enjoyable. If you haven't listened to it, everyone, go and check them out. There's a couple of them that you can listen to. Or did you combine them into one?
What I did, because I know we've talked about it with our Dragon Ball pods. That was the first one with the podcast. I did timestamps. So if you go into the description, you can click on the timestamp of who you want to listen to. So you could skip around if you want.
Pretty nifty stuff there. Was it difficult for you to actually be able to do that, or for?
Yeah, for the part where it's like, okay, well, the first one was it was 5 of us, you, Evan, myself, Byron, Cedric on a live stream, and then the next one was like me, Cedric, Jacob, and then you hopping in, and then Chuck did his own, then Andrea did her own. So it's like making sure listening to where the last part of each person's part was, and then putting that timestamp in. But it's pretty easy. You just have to put the number in and do the little dots, and then it does it for you on YouTube and Anchor. So
that could be actually good for even these kind of podcasts, because let's say someone already read the chapter and they don't necessarily want to hear our summary of it before we get into specific details, with the divide or the marker in which you can put there. Yeah, if some people just want to jump right to our summary, they can do that without having to click around or try to find it themselves.
Yeah, that's something I do want to do in 2022. Just keep upgrading in that way. Because I know starting with 2022, one of the biggest things is for like the people who do monthly stuff having their own like logo on their episodes. Mm-hmm. So that way it pops out. Like if someone's just scrolling on iTunes and they type in Dragon Ball Pod and then they see that you have a logo on there that's specifically Dragon Ball, like, oh, let me give this person a listen. So that was one big thing of 2022 that we got most of them done. So
yeah, real. Sweet.
Well, let's get into chapter number 80. You are a little bit under the weather, so I will actually give the summary, and then Mitch will hop in with his thoughts. You know how we usually do these things, go over the chapter, give our thoughts, predictions for next month, and then so forth.
Let's do it.
All right. So first, Granolah vs. Gas part 2. You got Gas getting a little upset over here because obviously he made that wish to be the strongest, but Granolah is really holding his own. He's not afraid. Gas talking about he'll figure out the move that Granolah just did soon enough, punches the ground, and then he goes directly at Granolah, and Granolah is not backing down in these chapters. You see a lot of back and forth, a lot of punches, kicks, dodges, beams, and Gas, who we've seen usually be calm from when we got first introduced to this guy, he's getting a little frustrated. You even see it on his face when you get to page 6 and 7, just looking a little like angry while they're going back and forth. And obviously the heaters, which these two are just groupies, are just saying how Gas might be stronger, but he's losing in the skills department, which I think Vegeta talked to Granolah about when they first started fighting. So it's kind of funny how it reversed on the opposite end. And then just a quick tab, if you go back to the first page, you do see Monedo healing Vegeta on that front as well while the fight's going on. So now currently Granolah is the more skilled fighter, but Gas may be more powerful. So then they keep going back and forth. You see there's page 8. Yeah, page 8 where they clash kicks. Vegeta's talking about Granola's wasted too much time. Gas is saying he could track his every move now. And Vegeta said that he's allowed Gas to grow accustomed to these new moves. And they still keep going at it. Gas says, I won't lose sight of you again. And then you see Granolah, for anyone who remembers the OG Dragon Ball and some of Dragon Ball Z, you do the whole clone after image technique. If I do remember, that was a Tien Shenhan signature move that he used to use in Dragon Ball that I think he used in the tournament against Goku. So you see the clones going at it, and then Goku's like, just relax. Granolah still has skills to win this. And you see all these different clones going against Gas. And if you've watched the OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, you know when you split into these clones, you split your power. And then page 14 and 15, you see a sweet shot of Gas blasting like all of these clones. It kind of reminded me, Mitch, of when Frieza came back to Earth when Goku brought him from Hell to be a part of the team, and Frieza was just blasting all those Universe 9 little lackeys. Yep. Like, that single shot was really impressive. But that was the plan of Granolah, that Gas would let his guard down because the clones would make him weaker, and he was waiting for the perfect opening, get super close to him, a la maybe Granola's version of a warp sniper shot, and then blast Gas right in the stomach. I don't know how that doesn't pierce him, because he gets hit point blank range in the stomach, and it doesn't pierce him at all. It just hits him in the gut, and then he goes flying. Goku's like, way to go. And then his little groupies are coming to go help Gas. And then Vegeta's like, what's wrong with Granolah? Any damage taken by... No, that was Goku said, what's wrong with Granolah? Vegeta's like, any damage taken by the clone has fell to his real body. That final play was a sacrificial one. Monedo's going to try and come and help Granolah, but he's like, nope, stay back. It is not over yet. And then you see some footsteps. The big boss man shows up. Elec. He's like, what's wrong, Gas? This isn't like you. And then they're asking, oh, didn't you make the wish? Make sure he was the strongest in the universe. He's like, of course I did. Gas is undeniably the strongest now, by a huge margin, in fact. Then he rips off Gas's like headpiece, which we're like, okay. And there's no point being the strongest in the universe when all that precious power is sealed away. I know you could withstand it, so liberate that inner nature. Everyone's like, sure, man, this didn't turn out so hot 40 years ago. And then you see Gas starting to transform, and we're just like, all right, this is new. Maki, I believe, is the girl. This is clearly a bad idea. When our instincts are unleashed, we lose all sense of ourselves, which is kind of interesting because it almost made me think of the Heaters version of like the Great Ape. Because when the Great Ape, like their instincts, they lose all sight of themselves, and then Elec's just like, endure it, Gas. You're not the man you were back then. And then you literally see him become a monster. And it's like, and then Vegeta's like, is that Gas? Goku's like, where do you find this other power? And then everyone's just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Monedo's like, that look, I saw it with my own eyes 40 years ago. When Bardock had Gas on the ropes, he lost himself and turned into that. He lost himself, so that's his last story. And also, Monedo's starting to kind of, I don't know about you, Mitch, starting to piss me off that he has all this information and just shares it at the wrong time.
Yep.
So Hulk mode Gas is just attacking Granolah. This is when he starts one of actually your least favorite move that happens to Goku, grabs him by the ankles and starts slamming Granolah, literally like Hulk versus Loki for those who have watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and is beating Granolah to the ground. And then it goes on for a couple of pages. And then you see the continued beat down. Maki's like, oh, he's gonna lost his mind. Goku's like, this is nuts. Granolah's not gonna last much longer. Vegeta's like, hey, old man, how in the world did Bardock defeat Gas when he was like this? And again, Monedo might be super useless. He's like, I don't know. I was unconscious. I didn't see it. Like, really? And then Maki's like, destroying stuff is great and all, but don't let it be the urge to take over. Come back to your senses. Then he smacks those two heaters across the face. Then he blitzes Goku and Vegeta. And Elect is just so calm. He's just like, it's fine. The universe's strongest warrior should have greater control over his own power than any other. He blitzes Vegeta, kicks him right in the gut, sends him flying. And then he's continuing to beat Vegeta down, who just got healed, which that heal now does nothing. So then, of course, Goku comes, throws his punch, and then Gas blocks it. But then he has a little thing where he's like, who's that? And then he starts to think of Bardock, because Goku's almost in the same pose that Bardock was when Bardock punched him. And then Bardock did his move, which a lot of Bardock fans who watch the shows and movies knows, where he charges up one hand and sends that final blast. And then Goku was able to punch this new Gas away because, Goku's the main character. But it looks like Gas also backed away on his own accord. And he starts to get a hold of his senses. Elec's like, go on, Gas. Remember, you swore to never lose again, right? So then he starts transforming back to normal, and then he gets his clothes back, and then he has those two horns on the side of his face, and then Elec's just like, yeah, there you go. Goku's like, it looks like he's had some kind of awakening, and then Elec's like, my little brother is the strongest in the universe for real. Go on, Gas, annihilate those who stand in our way. And Gas just gives him the man nod, saying just like, yeah, which Mitch, I didn't remember that Gas and Elec were brothers.
I think I remembered it. I think they're all siblings.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I think. At least I think Mackie is related. I assume Oil is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just they really haven't mentioned it too much. But I think I remember them being a family.
So when Gas was going crazy, and then Elec giving it, I guess, words of encouragement, and him transforming back to a humanoid form with the horns on his thing, it kind of reminded me of like the first time you go in GTY Super Saiyan 4. Like you go into that ape, you go freaking crazy, then something, and not like well, it was Goku seeing his granddaughter cry and seeing the earth that made him go back from Great Ape to Super Saiyan 4. It was Vegeta holding Goku, realizing that was Kakarot that made him go back to Super Saiyan, like the humanoid form. And Gas is almost the same exact thing. Went crazy, this uncontrollable power, and now he's back humanoid.
Yeah. Whenever I saw that he went, his berserker mode, or as some people are describing it as kind of jokingly walrus mode, because for anyone who hasn't actually seen the visuals of this, Gas has these how do I want to describe it? He doesn't have this in his natural non-berserk form, but he has two like horns that grow out of the top of his head, but they grow downward. And these protrude out. These are not little tiny dinky horns. I mean, these things are the length of his face. And some people, they just describe them as walrus Gas. I'm going to stick to berserker Gas because it sounds a little more professional, but yeah, without a doubt, it's kind of a goofy design, but it just is what it is. You have to differentiate between all these transformations. That's how it always is. Every transformation can't look the same. So I find it funny though that Elec is just completely calm, cool, and collected during this entire ordeal, even though him, Oil, and Mackie both got smacked in the face. Like at any moment, Gas could have just freaking killed Elec. I mean, but he's just hoping that that he, like what you said, he does the Super Saiyan 4 turnaround. Gains his composure and transforms into what he needs to be, even though everyone else thinks that he's going to be kind of like Broly, because that's essentially kind of like what happened, because we had never even associated this little. So what it is, again, for the people that don't have the visualization, Gas had like this necklace thing around his head, and it had little tiny like horns or teeth that were just on it, right? Again, the length of his face. And we just thought it was just decor, didn't think anything of it. No hints that he had a rage mode in him, or no, you have secret hidden abilities, blah, blah, blah. But no, I mean, Elec comes out of nowhere, just rips it off, and it's the exact same as what happened with Broly in his movies. Yeah, the mind control sensor gets taken off. He goes nuts. He's super powerful, big, and loses all control. So, not really a original idea, but oh well. Now the thing I want to know is why is Elec at this battle right now? Because at the beginning of chapter 79, and before 79, or right at the beginning, 79 started, that was when Vegeta gave Granolah the Senzu bean for him to go and fight. The first panels of 79 was Elec on the spaceship, and the little serving guy was like, "Hey, do you want to go and see the battle?" And Elec was like, "No. Have you ever been near a battle? I don't want to get debris into my wine. Besides, I have an errand to run." So between the beginning of chapter 79 and the middle of 80, we have had Granolah fight Gas, and somewhere off, I don't want to say off screen, but just off the manga that's presented to us, Elec has done something else, which will, I assume, come forth in these other chapters. But I'm like, what else is this man doing? I don't know what he's doing. I can't even predict to you what it is, because I'm like, the two strongest people are in front of us right now, besides gods of destructions and angels. And unless he's calling Frieza, he didn't summon the dragon again, because we would have seen the sky turn dark. So unless the wish was something a little more sophisticated than what was even like hinted at, yeah, I don't even know what one world Elec could be possibly even thinking.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too how when he made the wish, Gas was supposed to be the new strongest in the universe, so stronger than what Granolah was at the time of the wish. So then now you also do this amplifier, and they're in trouble. Like if he was already like the strongest, and then he was just learning his powers, and now you have this awakened, amplified Gas, and we already know this arc is going to end this year, 2022, but they're in real trouble, man. And I'm trying to figure out what are they going to do next.
I mean, I was like, when Vegeta was getting healed on page 1 there, that was kind of opening up the door for, Ultra Ego to come back in, and maybe, Vegeta would Hakai Gas in his new form or something along those lines. And, Vegeta would be the hero in this arc to finally finish it on his own. Now he's all beat up. I mean, even on page 42, this was right after, as you described it, Gas blitzed Vegeta. I mean, Vegeta's he's a little battered and bruised on his face, and he's kind of like wincing, like kind of in pain. Even on the last page, on page 45, Vegeta's holding his arm, or maybe his chest.
The signature Vegeta thing.
Yep, signature Vegeta hurt, whatnot. So it's like, so I was thinking that maybe he was going to have something. Now, on the flip side, Goku looks like he's ready to at least fight. He didn't get, punched in the. Well, he didn't get punched around by Gas in his berserker mode. So with Granolah borderline down and almost knocked unconscious, I think he is like knocked out, at least according to page 34. I mean, Goku's going to be the next one up to actually fight. And so we'll see what Goku can do. Maybe he can go, Ultra Instinct, and that's how they'll, turn the tide. I mean, I don't want to see Ultra Instinct win again. I would like to see Vegeta or Granolah win this fight. I don't think Goku has any right to win this fight based off of how, this entire arc has been. Granolah should be the one that wins this somehow, but I mean, he's down, and Vegeta, on the other hand, he's hurt. So maybe if Monado goes and heals him a little bit, maybe he'll be up and back at it. It would be actually sweet if we did see a panel of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego at the same time. I think that would be really friggin' sweet. But who knows if we'll see that, though. Hopefully so. Do you have anything else before I hop onto Monado here?
Yeah, I think with Gas now, I think now is I really do think it's really about to be Goku versus Gas the rest of the way, just for the fact that now Granolah, I mean, unless he gets up, like I'm scrolling back, he was getting smashed. Vegeta is the one who gets hit, and then of course when Gas sees Goku, thinks of Bardock, so now he's going to be like, before I kill Granolah, I need to kill this one for payback for 40 years ago. So now I really think it's up to that. I think Goku's, I mean, he can't even piss around with the level Gas is at now. He's going to have to go MUI. So it's, and then it's just like, how is that going to be? Goku, like you said, he's had a little bit more downtime than the others. So, but MUI has a stamina issue. So how could a damaged Goku hold on MUI longer than what he was when he was fighting Granola's clone? But now I just think after he knocked Vegeta back and Granolah, I'm like, oh, well, we've come full circle. It's about to be Goku and Gas final fight. And like I believe like Goku's going to hit MUI level 2 this arc. So I think that's where we're heading. Now, I do wish it was Vegeta. And I do want what you just said, like a panel of him and Goku side by side, because MUI is their trump card. I guess you could say Ultra Ego. We don't know that much about it, but their true trump card, I don't think is happening this arc, which I've already seen in the community, like, and that the F word fusion's been brought up, but I just don't see that they would need that. I think they'd be better ganging up on him than using fusion, because I think that'd be way overkill. I don't care how strongest warrior Gas is right now, even Awakened. There's no way you could tell me that he'd be able to compete with an MUI Ultra Ego mixed Gogeta.
No, I don't think really any way could. I don't even think Beerus could. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing. I'm still kind of on the train that Beerus is the strongest, like non-angel in the universe. Mm-hmm. And I even was thinking that even with a fused Goku and Vegeta with MUI, but I mean MUI almost completely tips the scale and makes Beerus not that. But you take MUI. Ultra Ego, Gogeta, I don't think Beerus stands a chance. So I think Whis is the only one stopping that in this universe.
Yeah, because even like, what would you do? Like, he could dodge everything. If he doesn't want to dodge and gets hit, he gets stronger in the concept of the thing. So what would you punch him so hard? Like, and obviously if you have UI, you can hit someone who has UI, like whatever. But I just don't think that's needed. I think they're going to have to team up against Gas, and we still don't know what Elec's main purpose is yet.
Correct. I mean, he's only wanted to get rid of Frieza. Now, he has to actually sit here and think now that Frieza can't be shit. Like, these people have to actually understand. After they're seeing the power levels of these 4 individuals that have been fighting, Elec has to be like, no, the final battle to control the universe is right on planet Cereal, right here, right now. Like,
what if could I entertain you if Frieza, which I don't even know if the writers remember from their own movie, what if Frieza came back and he actually was able to recreate the device to control Broly? Would that entertain you?
That would, if he could put that somehow on Gas's head, and I mean. It would actually be interesting, because what would Elec do? would, Elec then has to actually go up against his brother, and he's evil as shit. His brother's evil as shit. Frieza's evil as shit, and it's like, how is that going to play out? That'd be a good, interesting arc. Actually, it would be just kind of sweet if Broly somehow appeared.
I give Elect a lot. I've been giving him a lot of credit because this dude's really been pulling like the strings. I know he has to have like a fail safe if like this goes south somehow. Because he was way too calm, and he's been calm the whole arc.
Yep. Yeah, whatever his errand was, like what you said, it was a fail safe in case Gas failed here. He's a perfect manipulator, and he's a good change of pace of villain for the series.
Yeah, instead of just just comes somehow magically stronger than you, punch.
Yep.
Like he's been using his brain. And another trump card, he still has that OG 7-3 data Granolah gave him.
Correct. Yep. So, and who knows how or if he's going to use that at all, or if that was just, a way to start the arc and introduce Granolah or shit like that. But
so
maybe they'll bring back Moro. JK.
So what did you want to see about Monado?
Why is he so worthless? Like this man is this Namekian, I'm over him. Or at least I'm starting to get over him. I'm getting tired of him playing exposition and Mr. Flashback only when it's convenient. I mean, he doesn't want to tell Granolah about this. He doesn't want to tell Granolah about this stuff whenever it actually pertains to him. And he wants to, bring up the history of Bardock and the heaters, but he doesn't tell everybody how it all goes down until we're in the middle of actually freaking fighting. And then like Gas goes berserk mode, and Vegeta's asked, how in the hell did Bardock beat this guy? And he's like, I don't know. I was knocked unconscious. I didn't see. God, why were you knocked unconscious then? Like, literally, you just said that, like, you've seen this transformation. And then Bardock was on the ruse. Like, he's just kind of, he's one of those things where now and again in books and mangas where things are more visual than they are actually told. Like the number one thing about telling a story is don't tell, show it. Like and Monado is just doing a whole bunch of telling, and it in my eyes sometimes it knocks off the pace a little bit. Because like I'm like looking to him for answers as to what the hell's going on in front of me, and then he just doesn't give it, or like he gives it too late, and I'm like, okay, man, whatever. Now on the flip side, this goes back to I feel like I say this once every 2 months. The fact that these chapters come out once a month drives me nuts. Because like, I feel like this fight has been dragging on forever, even though it's only been technically like a couple of chapters. It's only been maybe, I don't know, at least in terms of Gas showing up, it's been like maybe 3 or 4 chapters. But that translates to 3 or 4 months. Like, I am getting fight fatigued because we watched Goku Granolah, we watched Vegeta Granolah, we watched Granolah Gas, then we watched Goku Gas. I'm trying to think. I don't think Vegeta fought Gas. It was just Goku because Vegeta was flying. And then we're at Granolah Gas again, and it appears that we're going to be at Goku Gas again. And then I assume Vegeta will also join the fray. Like, I'm getting fight fatigued now. What I'm more wanting is storytelling. So, like, I want to know, like, what's about to come up.
No, I hear you. Yeah, because it's near the end, and this arc is something because, like, if it really does end in the next couple of months, let's say it does end. Let's say it ends in April, right before a superhero comes out in Japan. That's 3 months, which is 3 chapters. And the fact that Frieza, who's supposed to be a main focus of this, is not gonna show, I think that'd be a huge disappointment.
I don't. Yeah, it would be. I don't. Frieza has to make an appearance, but that's the thing is that is this arc ending with all of the heaters dead or just Gas? You know what I mean?
Well, if
Like,
Gas dies, what can they do to fight?
well, that's the thing. You and I don't know, but Elec is so damn smart that he has another plan. I mean, for all we know, maybe his errand was he was going to go collect the Dragon Balls. Maybe he went and got them real quick, and he has them in the ship just in case if Gas dies, he'll go make his wish, make himself the strongest or something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next arc is not, it's not in regards to Gas. Maybe it has to deal with Elec. Maybe Elec like leaves the planet to go make the wish, and then he goes and confronts Frieza, so then he can learn his powers because he witnessed Granolah being the strongest in the universe, not knowing what the hell to do with his stuff until it was, later in the fight. Same with Gas. We've been shown that Frieza, whenever he trains for 6 months, he goes from Super Saiyan 1 equivalent to Super Saiyan Blue equivalent. Okay, what a power jump. But
like barely scratched surface Super Saiyan 1, like Goku just learning it, and then like Trunks, who his timeline's been a Super Saiyan for a little bit, beat Frieza in under like 3 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean that could be the next arc is not the end of the heaters, just the end of Gas. So, and then we leave Planet Cereal, and then it just goes from there. So.
Well, at least Gas has delivered instead of that one guy you had faith in the Tournament of Power. Shansta, whatever.
Shansta. Was that the bug?
Little blue guy who had no
guy.
He had no fear when Jiren was powered up, was just standing there. We're like, oh, this guy might be the real threat.
I wish I could meet I wish I could meet all these people and ask them, did you guys mean to not throw any sort of emotion towards the blue guy who does holograms and other stupid stuff for Universe 4 when Jiren is literally ripping the arena in half and he's just kind of like, okay. But everyone else is like, their eyeballs are about to pop out of their head because they know they're about to get pummeled by Jiren. I bet he's just sitting there chilling. He's like, okay. Like, did you mean to make him like the most fakest OP character of all time? Because I'm just like, what the hell?
Also, I like how Gas really just got his entire wardrobe back after them being ripped. I guess he can materialize things, so.
Bro, his powers are weird. He just creates shit. Well, on the flip side though, can you really give him any sort of shit towards being able to create his own clothes? I mean, Piccolo does it all the time.
That's true.
I mean, when we finally do a manga, when we finally do a Dragon Ball abridged review, I mean, that's one of the jokes that they make fun of is that, as they call it, Piccolo's clothes beam, whenever he zaps, Kid Gohan and actually puts clothes on him after he turns to an ape and then he destroys the moon. I don't know if, these villains or these people can do whatever they want at the right time, it would seem.
What do you think is going to start the next chapter? Because it will be 81 now, which will be February 20th? Is that when they said
Yeah, February 20th.
Which that would be a special day in itself, because that would be your son's first birthday.
Yep. Cooper's first birthday. It's crazy to think, though, that, 1 year ago, almost, at this time, like February 19th, was whenever we actually recorded that that podcast for that month. I'm trying to remember what exactly that chapter went over. It's been so long. But yeah, I went out to dinner. Kayla and I did. We went out to dinner, and then we came back. She went to bed. I recorded the podcast. It was probably about 11 o'clock, or by the time that we were done in the evening. And then I went and played I didn't play a game, actually. I'm trying to think. I went to bed late, but I can't remember why. And yeah, woke up then at 5 o'clock and found out that, it was about time. And yep, just an eventful day. So good thing that we recorded when we did. Otherwise, I would not have recorded that until like the 23rd, or hell, you might have had to actually record the chapter without me, because I probably would have been a little preoccupied with Cooper.
That's crazy how time has freaking flown. Mitch, anything else about this chapter, or what's going to happen next? Or
well, to answer your question, what I think will happen next, I think the chapter will start off, and it's going to be Goku versus New Gas, Prime Gas. Maybe that's what it is, or Diesel gas, or diesel fuel, or I don't know what his new name is now, but it's natural gas or something. But it'll be Goku versus Gas, I think. I'm off the bat. Now, what I'm wondering is, are we going to get Gas telling any of the story of the fight against Bardock, or is he just going to try to kill him? And I'll have to wait for Monado to overcome his writer's discretion. I mean, his writer. What is it when writers they have a struggle of actually trying to jot down or get an idea?
Writer's block.
Writer's block. So I tried to make a joke there between writer's discretion, if Monado's actually going to remember what happened, but I should have just said writer's block, because that's essentially what he has. Yeah, I think that'll be it. I think Vegeta will get involved too. I think Goku and Vegeta will start fighting Gas together, whether they actually go MUI or Ego, or they just stay Blue.
Well, Blue ain't doing shit, so
no. Maybe we'll actually get some talk. Maybe these people actually chill out for a chapter and just talk, and then we'll find something. I just pray. I really do pray that this is not a Harudagon ending where Goku is the one who ends this, and there's no reason for him to be the one who ends this. So, but I mean, Granolah needs another senzu bean. That's for damn sure, though.
I mean,
where's Whis at? Hold on. That's what I want to talk for. 30 seconds. Whis was literally just chilling, on Beerus' planet, looking into his staff and watching Granolah cut his own hair, or whatever happened. He knows that shit is hitting the fan over on this planet. So, we're not going to see Beerus or Whis come and actually, help out. But, God, sort of, why not?
It's kind of crazy too, because you brought up him watching him get Granolah getting a haircut, but the dude was watching against Moro. They were watching that whole time. Then, of course, near the end, Beerus is like, "Oh, I'm hungry," as code to "Let's go to Earth," because he just can't say "Let's go to Earth."
Yep. Yeah, Beerus wanted to help, and then he was going to step in and help, and then the Omni Kings were like, "Nah, we cut." Or no, it was the Grand Priest. He was like, "Nah, I need you guys to come talk about Beerus over here. We got to figure out what the hell y'all are doing here before I destroy myself."
Never been hyped for a page so long in my life when he's like, "All right, time to step in," and even Whis was shocked. Oh,
yeah, Whis was so shocked that the writers would even hear our cries, the fandom hear our cries, and even pretend like they were going to do something with it.
But it'll be interesting. Dragon Ball Super chapter number 81 coming out would it really be February 20th? Because that'd be a Sunday. So wouldn't it come out the 18th?
No, well, it says here on Viz that next chapter comes out on the 20th. It'll come out on that Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to they sometimes like to release chapters early and not on a Sunday, but I feel like the past few months they haven't cared. But it says here, full chapter list. November 19th was the last time it was not on the 20th.
Okay.
I'm trying to think when was the 19th of November. Trying to open up. Well, the 19th was a Sunday of November.
Okay.
August 18th was another month that they didn't do it on 20. That was Saturday. March 18th. Yeah, what happened on March 18th? March 18th was a Thursday. That's kind of weird. But no, February 19th was when the that next chapter had came out. So that came out on a Friday, though. Kind of surprising to think that usually I have, Cooper struggles, trying to put him to bed or whatnot. But on the 19th, the day before he was born, we actually recorded that night. So
yeah, we'll see.
Can you see, before we hop off here, what was chapter 69?
Yeah, sure. Let me.
I'm just curious what we were talking about that day.
Let me log in. 69?
Yep.
The evolution of planet Cereal. So you see Granolah going to the planet. Beerus showing him. Oh, it was Vegeta versus. Was that Vegeta? Yeah, it was Vegeta versus Beerus. Telling him to let go. Beerus finally telling the truth. And attacking Vegeta, giving basically Vegeta's training session.
Man, that's talking about a year ago. And now here we are wondering where the hell Beerus and Whis are.
And then you see the Heaters. I mean, the Heaters are actually watching 7-3's data because you see Beerus in the data. Yeah, it's him, Granolah looking at the Dragon Balls, other Namekians. Oh yeah, it's when Granolah made his wish. That was the last page. Oh wow. Man. Yeah. That was turned me into the greatest warrior in the universe. That was the last page of that chapter, literally 1 year ago. Wow.
Goodness gracious.
That's nuts, man. That is nuts. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
Thank you, Mitch, for being the Dragon Ball expert for the L7C. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the podcast. Make sure you like, rate, comment wherever you listen to. Love to hear from you guys. Next chapter will be 81. And on almost the birth of Cooper, Granolah became the strongest in the universe in a wish. Maybe by Cooper's 1-year-old birthday, Goku will show MUI version 2. Something big will happen. We'll be here for it. But thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. You guys take care.
Have a good night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.